From working hospitals to working crowds, they're taking the world by storm, and you can see them on a stop near you on the Shock Advice Tour. So joining me now is none other than Nurse Blake. Pumped to be speaking with you. How are things?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Getting ready for my tour.
Yes, yes. Okay, so first things first, obviously nowadays you're known for your comedy, but you truly were a nurse at one point in time. So tell me a little bit about kind of your nursing career and how this all got started.
Yeah, so I've been a nurse for 10 years now. I graduated in 2014 from the University of Central Florida, and I worked at many different hospitals around the country, actually, mostly adult trauma, level one trauma. I love the sound of an ambulance. I love when the adrenaline really starts pumping. So I think I used my experience in so many different areas of nursing and all the hospitals I worked at to really craft my show and all my stories and my jokes. So that experience has been great, and I never thought I'd get into nursing and do comedy. It's just, like, so random, but it happened progressively over time, and I love making nurses feel good, and I love making healthcare workers laugh.
Yeah, well, and I feel like in a lot of ways you kind of paved the way for that nursing comedy, if you will, because, if you look at your TikTok, and nurses obviously understand this, but there's such a relatability factor. Like I told you, my wife's a nurse, so when she sees your TikToks, she sees herself. She's like, oh my gosh, that was me this morning, or that was me last night. So I'm curious then, kind of where did the transition come into play from kind of, nursing to comedy?
Well, tell your wife I said
I
hi.
will.
Hope she can make it out to the show. I started the transition really, like I said, I didn't even know it was going to happen. About 3 years into my career, I was tired, I was burnt out, I was struggling a little bit with depression and anxiety. So I just started making funny videos on Facebook back in 2017, just as a way to kind of just a release that I needed personally. And I would post it to friends and family. And then they quickly gained more popularity and started to go viral. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like maybe I'm not alone because there's nurses that are in the comments that are going through the same thing.
hmm
And as my audience has grown, I see comments from nurses in Australia, the Philippines, Europe, Canada, that we all go through the same thing. So creating videos and seeing the comments and the interactions have helped me through my journey. And I hope it's helping, other nurses get through those hard times.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times within our jobs, like if you're not within that specific industry community, it's hard to fully understand kind of the
Yes.
trials you're going through at work, right? Because you're not doing it on the day to day. So I do think, like I said, there's just that huge relatability factor there. So I'm curious to know as well, are you still actively practicing nursing, or have you kind of left that behind for now?
Nope. So I'm still a licensed registered nurse, still got my license. I don't work in a hospital anymore. Hospitals won't hire me because I guess I have a big mouth and I'll make fun of them during my show and I'll call them out for not giving nurses breaks, like yada, yada, yada. But I do nursing education now. So on top of the comedy that I do, I own a company called NurseCon where we host large scale nursing conferences on cruise ships and on land where we do continuing education, theme nights, and parties. So I'm in the mix between nursing education and making nurses laugh.
Yeah, okay, so I'm glad you just mentioned that. So tell me a little bit more about NurseCon, especially the one at sea, because I know, like you said, you've already done some cruises, but there's still more to come.
Yeah, there are. We are going into our fifth sailing, our first Nurse Con at Sea. It is the ultimate nursing conference. We actually take over a whole cruise ship. So there's over 3,500 nurses that pack the ship. We bring on about 30 nursing educators to give out education. We bring on drag queens. We bring on entertainers and dancers. It is really, like I said, it is the ultimate nursing conference for 4 nights, 5 days. We'll be sailing to the Bahamas. But we know not everyone likes to go on cruises for whatever reason. So we're doing our first one on land in Orlando, September 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. So I'm super excited about that opportunity as well.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways to kind of get in on the experience. I love that. Now, something that I found rather impressive about you was that you've been rather instrumental in kind of fighting for the change in the ban of the members of the LGBTQ plus community
Good
giving
job. Good job.
blood. And
Yeah.
I thought this was so interesting because this has been a very known kind of issue, if you will, for a long time. So kind of tell me about what that means to you and kind of how you got involved in something like that.
Yeah, on top of comedy and doing all the other projects I do, I love advocacy. So whenever I can, I love to advocate for nurses and the LGBTQ plus community. And I really got my first step into this when I was in nursing school about 10 years ago. I went to go donate blood for one of my friends and classmates who had sickle cell anemia, but unfortunately, I was turned away for being gay. And at that time, the FDA banned gay and bisexual males from donating blood for life. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should change that. So I started a little Facebook group called Ban for Life. And over the years, we got the FDA to end the lifetime ban. Just being, a gay nursing student from Orlando, I was able to get the FDA to listen to me. So it was so cool. Like I realized, like, no, I have a voice. So I also like to inspire other nurses to realize that they have a voice, they have the power to make change. So on top of making nurses laugh, I always love to throw in a little advocacy and inspiration in there too.
Yeah, I mean, you really have used your career for good in many different ways. So thank you for doing that. Obviously, the reason we're speaking today is because you're coming to Springfield Live on the Galoy Theater stage on October 9th. So kind of tell the 417 what they can look forward to within your performance.
You're gonna have the best night ever. You're gonna laugh so hard. You're gonna have abs at the end of the show. Everything is on the table, so I can make fun of anything and anybody, especially myself and my life. It's not just about nursing. I share about my whole life before even being born to growing up to nursing school to life on the job. It's not only nurses that come. If you're not a nurse, you probably dated a nurse, and if you have, I'm sorry because we are red flags. But you're gonna a nonstop laugh, have trouble breathing for an hour and 45 minutes. But the good news is there's nurses there, so we will take care of you. We got you.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a good time. Okay, my final question for you. What's still ahead for you? Anything that you're still kind of hoping to accomplish aside from all the amazing work that you've already achieved?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap. So I think that's next on my agenda is to take a nice long nap before I hit the road for my tour. I'm gonna be gone for about 9.5 weeks with about 6 shows a week. So I'm gonna get some rest in.
Okay, I love that for you. All right, well, Nurse Blake at the Galoy Theater here in Springfield on October 9th. Thank you for all the incredible work you're doing, and thanks for the comedy. We appreciate it, and we'll see you here in Springfield soon.
See you soon.